And welcome back to Cody Banks Arena for Game 2 of Oyster Cup action. East Coast Express taking on ND Elite. Both of these teams had some really close games earlier today, with the Express losing in a 1-0 contest. Goal was scored with about 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third period. Grayson Tricky having a great game. And the ND Elite just edging the PEI Riptide in a 2-1 shootout victory. We got Tal locked down the puck here, going to the back. Aston Hannon continuing the back pressure. Puck comes in, Reed Friars goes and picks it up behind our net. Takes a look up ice, sees Aston, moves it up. Aston pushes the puck ahead to Jasper Nelson. Jasper had a great breakaway opportunity, just missed the top corner earlier today. Tal with a shot, Jasper out front, Jasper loses 6, and the Elite able to get it back out of the zone. Really having trouble seeing the names and numbers on these jerseys. I apologize. So I'm just going to call them ND Elite for a while. And ND Elite scores the first goal. A little bit of a broken play in front of the net. Catches Sam Delaney swimming a little tiny bit and ends up in the back of the net. Pucks in front of the net have to be cleared so quickly. Sam really couldn't afford to be in a little bit out of position there without the puck going in the net. Express defense needs to step up there and box out a little better. There we go. Puck won back by Caden Christian to Jace, or I keep calling him Jace. Carter Hayes. Puck goes down to the board. Picked up by Jasper. Jasper leaves the puck for Caden Christian. Caden tries to go to the net, gets stripped. Puck moves back out. Here comes the ND Elite again, driving in one-on-one. Makes a move around Reese Vincent. Makes a move, tries to make a move around Carter Hayes. Carter manages to put a stop to it. Puck comes up the wall to Caden Christian. Caden tries to bump back to Jasper. Doesn't quite get it flat on the ice, and Jasper can't pick it up. Carter moves the puck up to Emmett Tabor. Emmett leaves it to Caden Christian. Caden coming into the zone. Has Jasper ahead of him. Elects not to pass. Jasper goes offside, and that will be the end of that rush. We will see a line change for the Express. This time Moran, Jackson Floody, and Moffat coming on the ice. Defense has already changed. We've got Reed Friars and Max Starr. 25 defense this weekend. With Jasper Nelson moving up to forward to cover for Noah Parker. He's not with us this weekend. Puck comes out of the zone, one back by Express, but dumped into the corner. Looks to go up the wall, can't do it. That time Moran on the pressure. Again, Moffat coming in to support. Puck comes up the wall. Reed backs off. Puck just comes up ahead. And the Elite comes in and tries to get it tries to pass it back to the D across ice, but Jackson Flood gets a stick in the lane. Max starts in the corner battling here. Max is going to look to try to push that puck up to Jackson Flood. He does, but it gets shoved back down in the corner. Reed fires into the corner, reverses for his partner, but nobody there. Time Moran going to the corner, pockets made out front. Reed picks it up, manages to pick that off, moves it up to Ian Moffat. He's driving into the zone. He's going to give it back to Reed. Reed going to the net, shoot 1-on-2, gets taken down. Puck doesn't come out. Stepped in by Cal Lockery. Puck gets jumped back in. Aston Hannon picks it up to the blue line, drives in one-on-one, can't quite beat the ND Elite defenseman. ND Elite gets stuck on the door. Gives Aston a little bit of room, the ability to maneuver back behind the net. Tries to move the puck up, gets by Reese, but Braden Neal is there to collect it. He will go ahead and turn up ice. Sees Cal, does by him, but ends up on the stick of Liam Werner. Cal Lockery comes through, Liam gets it, pushes across ice to Aston Hannon. Aston standing still at the blue line, moves that puck in for Cal, just out of reach. Cal has it behind the net. Cal leaves it for Aston into the corner. Aston battling one-on-one against the defender. Cal comes into assist. Moves that puck behind the net. Liam Werner going to the corner to assist. Brady Neal manages to come down the wall. Nice, I guess, check there by Brady Neal. No call on it, but certainly a good heavy play by Brady to keep that puck into the zone. Puck comes up the wall and out. Shot on goal for Cam Delaney, handles that easily. Cam had an incredible weekend up in Edmonton at the Top 10 tournament, allowing 3 goals in 3 games and posting 2 shutouts. Hopefully we can get a little bit of that back this weekend and start to string some wins together here. Wins are very important in this tournament when the top two teams in each pool in Tier 1 2014 go ahead. So there's 2 pools, 5 teams in each. Top 2 teams in each pool move into the semifinals with a crossover game. The first place seed in Pool A playing second place seed in Pool B, and so forth. Winners of that go to play, I think it's 4 p.m. on Sunday. Makes for a late night back, but certainly worth it if we can get there. Up to Caden Christian. Caden's going to move the puck into the zone, gets it across ice to Carter Hayes. Carter Hayes to blue line, gets support behind him, drops it back, and the Taylor puts it into the zone, just off the goalie's stick into the corner. They try to run it back up the wall. Carter there again, picks it up, looks to move the puck to the middle, can't quite get it there, gets blocked, has it again, tries to look back for Emmett Taylor, but it gets blocked once again, and they're going to go ahead and ice that down the ice. Minute and 23 seconds left on the power play that I didn't even realize happened, but here we go. Puck gets moved up to Caden Christian. Caden's going to pull that off the wall. Goes back to Carter Hayes. Carter's going to move that ahead for Jasper Nelson. Gets kicked into the zone. Not deep, but Max Clark managed to get it at the blue line. Shot pass, cross ice, goes to Emmett Taylor. He got a piece of that clean. That might have ended up in the back of the net. Goalie's did a good job of getting across to challenge that. Carter gets to the middle of the ice. Shot on net. Tip. Still loose. Still in front of the net. Coming out. 1-on-2. Max Clark makes a play on it, doesn't quite get the puck, managed to get by him. Carter Hayes now going 1-on-1 back to the zone, managed to prevent any scoring opportunity. Puck quickly comes back out to Jasper Nelson. Jasper gets it over to Cal Lockery. Cal Lockery looking to go wide into the zone. Get Emmett Taylor out front. No opportunity to pass. Get a little bit of a hook on him here. No call. Puck gets dumped back down the ice. Now Liam Werner go back to collect it. Liam takes a look up ice, see what he can see. Moves that puck up to Brady Neal. He switched with him at the wing. Great smart play there. Comes back down to Reed Friars. Cal Lockery with it at center now. Cal sees action busting through the middle. Puts it on a stick, but just out of reach. Reed picks it up, makes a nice play over to Cal. Cal now in. We've got a 1-on-2 opportunity. Pass over to Liam Werner, just out of reach again. Passes are going. They're just not quite connecting today. That was similar in the first game where we just really couldn't get some shots on net, really couldn't get any offense going. Hopefully we can find that here and get some chemistry built back after some great final games in the shotgun tournament. Brady Neal back to the puck in the corner. Cuts back. Moves it up the wall. Action Hannon's going to cycle back in, find some ice behind him, and drive up the wall. Moves that up for Cal Lockery. Cal Lockery entering the zone wide. 1-on-4. Cal manages to move to the middle. Gets to the middle, shot on goal. Rebound. Liam Werner can't quite connect with it. Already, I think we have more shots in this game than we had in the entire last game. We had 2 or 3 grade A scoring chances that just didn't quite find the back of the net. Very tight second game. This one's a little looser. Seeing a lot of transition play going on here. Makes for an exciting, fast-paced game for fans. Not so great for coaches or goalies. Puck down in the corner within the ice. We've got one guy driving through the middle. Come out to the blue line. Ian Moffat steers that back down to the corner. Ty Moran with the puck behind the net. Goes behind Carter Hayes. He can't quite find it. Gets back up through the middle of the ice. We've got 2 guys driving up, Ian and Jackson Flood. Gets shoved back into the corner by the defenseman. Reese Vincent down in the corner. Puts it up. Gets picked off by the Elite, and then a shot off the crossbar. Puck back in the corner again. Puck cycled back below the goal line by ND Elite. Battle on the boards now between Ian Moffat, one of their players, who just elects to drive it out of the zone. Gives us an opportunity to get a forward change. They come back. Ian Moffat picks it up. Jackson Flood's offside. It's not called. And the puck now transitions back up ice quickly. Ian tried to make a play to Jackson there, but he elected to go for the change. Could have been an opportunity, but we needed to get that puck deep. Face off in the express end here. Caden Christian loses the draw, comes out to the ND Elite defenseman. It's shot in, gathered up in Max Clark's spread basket, and then dropped to the ice. Picked back up again in the corner by ND Elite. Comes out to Reed Friars, who managed to get a stick on it. Pushes that ahead for Jasper Nelson. Jasper gets it back to Reed in the middle. He's covered, but he managed to get a shot off anyway. Hayden Christian into the corner, picks up the puck. Looks to get through. Too many bodies in front. Jasper goes in and helps. Puts it back to Hayden Christian on the midboard. He's going to move that cross ice. Good stick by the Elite to keep that pass from connecting. Emmett Tabor throws, cycles it back behind the net for Christian. Christian can't quite get to it before the defenseman does, and it gets pounded back up the wall. Back behind for Jasper Nelson. Shoots it out front, nobody there. Manages to get picked up by Max Clark. Max now in the corner. Looks to put pass out front. Little puck going over top. Looks like it might have dropped it behind the goalie, but it actually ended up behind the net. And we've got Jasper Nelson taking a shot set penalty in the corner. I will say that the penalties have been a bit soft here, not bad. I mean, they certainly are, would be by the textbook a penalty, but back home, a lot of these little pushes and stuff we tend to let go. Not a criticism by the referee. Obviously, they're trained the way they're trained, and they're doing their best here. But yeah, we've been getting called by on a lot of little body contact, pushes and stuff, things like that we normally wouldn't. Puck comes out, won by Cal Lockery, managed to get stripped by one of the ND Elite players, but Cal managed to push it off the stick of the defenseman. Moves it ahead, can't quite keep control of it as the puck moves D to D. And the Elite looking to move the puck back up the ice, Axton Hannon pressuring. Puck gets moved ahead by before. Reese Vincent battling on the boards with Ashton Hannon, trying to keep that puck in the zone. From getting into the zone, I should say. Nice save by Cam Delaney there. Shot comes out, another shot on a rebound. Puck gets pushed out away from the goalie, which is not great. But Cam's glove comes in clutch and manages to keep the puck out of the net. Minute and 24 seconds left here on the express penalty. We've got Hannon taking the draw, gets tied up, drummed in the middle, and the Elite comes out with it on top. Drives out of the corner, tries to get a shot, doesn't get through, up to the defenseman's stick, gets over top, and we are going to have to regroup. Puck gets shot in, offside. Going to give the Express team a little bit of time to collect the puck. Max starts to elect to try to slap shot it down the ice. Doesn't quite work out the way that he had planned, and ends up coming back into the zone. Max Clark, however, recovers from this mistake, manages to strip the puck, get the puck back up the ice, gets picked off by the defenseman, shot through traffic, goes over top of the net. And the Elite down in the corner, taking a look out front, nobody there. Max Clark picks it off again, moves it up the ice, gets to Liam Werner. Liam manages to get down the ice, and we're going to get a forward change, actually a wholesale change here by Express. We've got Lockery, Neal, Christian, and Fryer on the ice trying to kill this penalty off with 41 seconds left. Cal working in the corner. 3-on-1. Cal moves up the wall, cycles back down. Hayden Christian comes in to support. We get that pinned against the wall, comes up the ice to Reed Fires. He's going to elect to take it out of the zone, just try to control it, still off as much time as possible. Loses the puck on the blue line. 1-on-1 on Brady Neal. Puck gets recovered, stopped over top of Sam Delaney and manages to get it out to the other side of the zone. Cal Lockery ice to sit down in the corner. Puck goes DDD behind the end of the Elite net. Back up the wall. We are now even strength here. Ian Moffat comes in. Shot on Sam Delaney. Handled, and dangerous rebound, but it gets cleared out by Reed Fryer. D to D, Reed from Brady to Reed. Reed's going to go up ice. Ian's going to hold his position, try to give Reed some opportunity to get in on the action here. Reed tries to center it out front, doesn't quite get by. Looks to Brady, shot on goal, just stays out. Actually, that was Reese Vincent, I apologize. Brady must have changed. Now we've got Reed Byers going for a change. Ian's still holding the blue line for Jay Hayes, who's now coming in. Puck gets frozen against the wall, and the official's going to elect to blow the whistle and have a draw. 23 seconds left in the first period. Hayden Christian, time ran on the draw, wins it back to Carter Hayes. Carter puts it on net. Saved by the goalie, and we've got a body in front. 20 seconds left, another face-off. Ty wins it back to Carter again. Carter looks for the net, gets it on net, rebound comes out. Works the shot on the ice. Reese Vincent goes for the shot, hits the shin pad. Carter's going to go ahead and pass that back to his partner. Reese is just going to dump it in on net. 7 seconds left. If we can get control of the puck, we can get one more opportunity here. Comes up the wall. Shot by Ian. Goes to Reese. Reese puts it to Carter, and we run out of time. Fast and loose first period here between Express and the Elite. I'm not sure if that's going to benefit us more or them, but we're about to find out here as this game continues unless something changes. I'm sure the message here from the coach is going to be to not try to do it all by ourselves. Make sure that we are moving that puck when we can, and get to the net because there are rebounds coming out. And second period action begins. Scrum draw, one back by ND Elite. Moves the puck up the ice, misses everybody that's going to go for icing. We have a new network connection here. We're hoping that the stream quality is a little better than it was last time. Yeah, fingers crossed. Any feedback from home would be helpful. Draw one back by Express over to Max Clark, stands on it when he tries to put it into the zone. Stopped by Werner and Clark at the blue line, but the puck comes back out across ice, and the Elite's going to go ahead and get into the zone. We've got full squad into the zone on both sides, so 5-on-5 hockey in the zone. And now we are pinning against the wall. This seems to be a tactic that's been used a lot so far this game. Puck comes up to Werner. Werner hits Ashton in the middle of the ice. Ashton going in. Not quite a breakaway. Gets hooked up. Gets the shot off. No penalty call. Not quite sure how that wasn't called, but that's okay, and it happens. Puck goes up the wall. And the Elite sends the puck down the ice. And that will go for icing. Good job on the NB Elite player to grab a hold of Ashton in there, and obviously, as a Express parent, I would like to see a penalty call there, but still great effort. Matching speed with Ashton and managing to keep him from getting a good quality shot off. Ashton still battling through to get the shot. Puck gets one into the corner by NB Elite. Cycled over to the opposite defenseman. Going to be looking, trying to move a puck up the wall. Managed to do so, but picked off by Reese Vincent, who managed to get the puck over to Brady Neal. Brady Neal up now for Jasper Nelson. Jasper Nelson into the zone. Going to just dump that in. Emmett Faber going behind the net with Jasper Nelson opposite sides. Managed to take the puck, but can't find it in their skates, and the Elite comes out with it. Goes to Tal Lockery. Tal's going to cycle back into traffic, but still manages to get through. Tal moves that over for Emmett Faber. Emmett tries to get a shot on net. Just goes behind. Jasper Nelson now battling behind the net for the puck. And comes out with it is Tal Lockery. Tal moves that back into the zone. Nobody there. And the Elite will come up with it. Tal and Emmett on the forecheck. Jasper Nelson keeps that puck back in from the blue line. Good back check there by Jasper to get above the defenseman. Puck gets cycled over to the opposite side, and Express still on the forecheck. Now we've got a 1-on-1 back. Carter Hayes and the Elite player. Tries to go for the toe drag, doesn't quite work, puts it on net. Easily handled by Cam Delaney. Puck gets moved back up to Jasper. Jasper now going in 1-on-3. Just elects to dump the puck in on net and go for a line change. Smart play there by Jasper after a long shift. Puck comes out to Carter Hayes. Can't quite keep the blue line. Puck gets moved back to Matt Clark, who's going to look up ice. Move that up for Ty Moran. Ty in 1-on-1. Goes over to Ian Moffett. Ian gets a shot on net. Loose puck. Nice rebound. Nobody there. Puck gets moved back up again. It's that fast transition hockey we've seen all game so far. Gets moved to the weak side. Shot on net. This is high and wide. Jackson Flood now coming up the wall. We'll just elect to bump that ahead. Get rid of our zone. And then we will end up forechecking into the NB Elite end. Ty Moran on the puck. Comes up the wall. Can't quite come out. Ty and Carter battling for that puck. Manages to get behind both of them, but somehow gets lost in the skates of an NB Elite player and back into the zone. Puck gets moved up to the blue line. Ross in, looking for a shot. Can't quite get by everybody. Carter Hayes puts up the puck, puts up the wall for Ian Moffett. Ian sees Jackson Flood coming up the zone. Jackson and Ian will dump that in, just look for a line change. Smart play there, getting fresh legs on the ice. NB Elite will drive up the ice again. Pass across, attempted to be picked off by Ashton Hannon. Hannon gets a piece of it, but not enough of it to keep it away from the NB Elite player. Comes down to Reed Fryers. Reed will bump that up for Caden Christian. Caden gets a piece of it, but not all of it. Loses it off of his stick. Puck comes back into the zone again. NB Elite looking to attack. Puck is stripped by Reed Fryers. Reed will see Liam Verder on the opposite side. We get a 3-on-2 developing if we can get it inside the zone. Puck attempt to pass over to Caden Christian, gets picked off and stopped by NB Elite. Caden picks it up behind the net, gets it out to Reed Fryers, gets a shot on net, no rebound. And that one is handled by the NB Elite goalie. Great scoring chance there. Good shot through traffic by Reed. Unable to find any rebounds. Caden Christian on the draw. Summed up again. Good job by these NB Elite sentiment to tie our guys up. Every draw seems to be either a defense or a winger winning it. Not too many team face-offs happening here. Puck comes up the wall. NB Elite's going to exit 2-on-2 with a back checker on the left side. Puck is put to the other side of the ice for Brady Neal. He'll get it up the wall for Ashton Hannon. Hannon will go back to Neal. Neal will find Reed Fryers in the middle of the ice. Reed has the puck stripped, and the Elite going 1-on-2 here against Ashton and Brady. Ashton comes in, picks up the puck. He's just going to elect to use the ice that's in the middle, given to him. Goes to Liam Verner, pops off his stick, but manages to stay at the blue line. Ashton Hannon will pick it up. He'll put it between the feet of the NB Elite player, throw back in the zone. See Brady Neal up at the point. Brady's just going to cycle that back into the corner for Christian. Christian behind the net. And the puck comes out front. Goes across ice for Reese Vincent. Reese Vincent's shot blocked out front. Reese looks to move that in. Fans on it a little bit. Puck comes out. Back to Brady Neal. Brady looks up high and wide. Finds Jasper Nelson at the offensive blue line. Jasper will gain the zone with Emmett Tabor and Cal Lockery. Jasper elects to shoot. Emmett Tabor down on the ice in front of the net. Almost was able to pop that goal in with his stick while he was lying flat on the ice, but goalie managed to keep it out. Good battle down in the corner by Tabor and the NB Elite player. Puck comes up the wall to Reese Vincent. Reese can't quite handle it at the blue line, but manages to recover and gets it back in. He's got Tabor falling at the blue line, attempting to get to the puck, but no harm, no foul. He managed to recover it back. It goes from Reese Vincent to Cutter Hayes. Cutter's going to look cross ice, puts it up for Jasper Nelson, does just out of reach, and manages to come back into the zone. Cutter Hayes up again. Cutter elects to dump it into the zone this time. Puck comes up to the middle. Reese Vincent puts the puck up the board. Good job to poke that ahead by Cal Lockery. Unfortunately, the play is offside, and we will get a face-off over at the NB Elite blue line. Off one clean from Ty Moran. I was just talking about how that wasn't happening very often, but there it is. Just put up the ball, kept in my Max start. Ty Moran driving down the boards with Jackson Flood behind him. Ty sees Max up at the blue line. We get a shot out front. Ian Moffat in front. Good rebound control. Puck put back in the corner. Nothing dangerous there. Puck gets behind Max. Now we've got a 2-on-1 developing. Good job by Ty Moran to take the pass and leave the play to Reed Friars. Pass attempt goes through. Ty picks it off. And the Elite cycles back out front. Nobody there. Good save by Cam Delaney. Cam's going to put that off the wall. No one there. And the Elite will gather this with some pressure from Jackson Flood and Ian Moffat. Jackson forces the puck behind the net. Ian there, but doesn't quite go behind. Again, these boards, we were talking about it earlier today, react a little weird. Shot from Reed Friars, behind the net. Picked up by Caden Christian behind the net. He's going to move that up to Max Clark. Max back to Christian. Christian over to Friars. Friars shot on net, tipped by Moffat, goes behind the net. Moffat picks it up behind the net, puts it out front. Oh, great opportunity there by Liam Werner. Stick gets in the lane, and it does not end up in the back of the net. Pass goes out, goes to Werner. Moffat's going to change. We got Christian and Werner going to the net. Werner can't quite get a shot off, stick tied up. Comes up to Reed Friars, who falls to his knees, but manages to keep the puck in. Goes over to Werner, shot pass out front, and we got a shot on a goal. Rebound goal by Austin Hannon. That'll tie this game up at 1-1. Express managing to get in there, and great out front pass by, I think it was Caden Christian. Could have been Liam Werner though, if I'm honest. And Ashton Hannon managed to get the shot, gets his own rebound, bangs it in, and that will tie this one up at 1. Face off at center here. One back by Christian. Ashton Hannon picks it up. Ashton had a 4-goal game at the Top 10 tournament. Maybe we can ignite that spark here again with what just happened here. Shot by Ashton, handled by the goalie. And the announcement agrees that it was Caden Christian on that pass. So there we go. Goal by Hannon. Gets his own rebound after a pass out front. Great pass from below the goal line by Christian. Lockery wins the puck over to Faber. Reese Vincent comes in, banks it down on the corner. Puck goes behind the net, and the Elite looking to move it up the wall. Gets picked off by Lockery. Lockery and Nelson working over with Brady to try to keep the puck in the zone. Puck comes back. Doesn't quite reach Neal. Neal manages to slow up his player just enough to stop that from being dangerous play. Even though it managed to get by him, he was able to keep that skating lane and make sure that nothing dangerous came out of it. Turns out to be an NB Elite offside, and we will have a face-off just outside of the press zone. Cal Lockery on the drop. Again, tied up. Puck comes back to the NB Elite defenseman. Puts it up the wall. Comes off the wall funny. Again, these boards don't react the way that these players are used to. If they're solid, it looks like they're solid wood, and it definitely creates some weird bounces compared to the plexiglass and things that they're used to normally. Fiberglass. Jasper Nelson gets the puck up the ice, gets in on net, manages to put the puck on net, rebound for Emmett Faber. Faber can't handle it, gets bowled over by the NB Elite defenseman. Cal Lockery in the corner, 2-on-2 battle down low. The free calling for the puck to move. Cal comes out with it, gets turned back around, Faber back into the corner, gets pinned against the wall by the Elite defenseman. Turning quite a battle, and we've got a power play coming up to the Express. Well, that escalates quickly. That was a battle that you could see happening for quite a bit, those two at the same time, and Faber gets the better of them, draws the penalty. No, we're actually going to get one on each side from looks of it. Not quite sure how that happened, but that's interesting. That's an interesting call. So we'll have 5-on-5 hockey here. Face off in the Elite end. Lockery wins it clean to Nelson. Nelson gets it over to Clark. Puts it in. Almost goes off the NB Elite defenseman's stick, but smart play to not open his blade up, or that would have ended up tipping onto his own goalie. Ashton Hannon gets puck on the wall, moves over for Clark, comes out of the zone. He's got a 3-on-2 developing. Not a heavy back check coming in here from Express, but good job by Max Clark and Carter Hayes to disrupt that enough for Cal Lockery and Ashton Hannon to get back. Players' bodies flying everywhere. Puck comes out front, no shot. The NB Elite player has a great opportunity. He manages to stand on the puck just a little bit. Now we've got Jasper Nelson coming up, drops the puck back for Ashton Hannon. Ashton Hannon walks in, shoots, gets over the goalie's glove, and it's down to him. We have a goal. Express takes the lead, 2-1, after a nice rebound goal from Cal Lockery. Great to see Cal get on the board. He's been a little bit snake-bitten with us this season. He's had all kinds of opportunities that are just not going in. Hopefully that one kind of opens up the floodgates for him, and he can start to put a few more behind the net, because that's certainly what we're used to seeing from him. Doesn't miss those opportunities often. Time ran on the draw. Gets summed up. Comes back to Brady Neal. Brady puts that up the wall for Flood. Flood in 1-on-3. Can't quite come up with the puck. Puck goes back to the NB Elite defenseman. Gets passed by Jackson Flood, and then it goes down for icing. Calling that play was Cal Lockery from Max Clark and Jasper Nelson. Great play there to drop the puck back by Jasper. Max gets puck through. Cal gets the rebound. Nice goal. Time ran. Strum draw again, gets back to Brady Neal. He's going to switch places with Ian. Ian's going to hold the line for him here while the puck comes out off the wall. Back to Kai Moran. Kai puts it on net. Off the goalie's stick. Another rebound out front. If we get bodies from net, we could probably score a few goals here, because those pucks are sitting in front of the net. Another one off the goalie. Goes to Moffat. Moffat's going to cycle up behind the net, go after it. Gets it over to Moran. Moran's behind the net. Tries to jam it in. No goal. Kai had looked like Reed coming out of the corner with him. Unfortunately, he goes for the jam play. If he had moved that over, Reed would have been a really good scoring chance. Even if a rebound came out, that would have been a really good play. So good job by Kai behind the net to drive to the net, try to create some offense. Puck won by NB Elite. Gets cycled back around the board. Reed up the wall, loses it. Puck comes up the ice. NB Elite uses to dump that into the corner and chase after it. Pinned in by Caden Christian. Comes over to Reed Friars, who moves that over for Brady Neal. Brady's going to take a look up ice. Get that back across ice for Ashton Hannon. Ashton comes back underneath the puck. Makes a move around the vortex pressure, but loses the puck trying to beat the second guy. And the Elite comes in, shot, blocked by Reed Friars. Shot to the front of the net. Doesn't quite get there as it goes off the skate. Gets back into the corner. And the Elite walking behind the net, looking to wrap around. Doesn't work. Moves it to the center of the ice. Gets to Ashton Hannon. Brady Neal tries to move it out. Hits Ashton. Luckily for Express up to the end of the period. Express getting 2 in this period to take the lead. 2-1 going into the third. Nice goals. Both rebounds. Great opportunities in front of the net by Ashton Hannon and Cal Lockery. Ashton getting his own rebound. And Cal picking up a puck off of a Max Clark shot with a drop pass from Jasper Nelson. We're going to line up here to start the third period. We've got Cal Lockley, Emmett Tabor, and Jasper Nelson. Carter Hayes and Reese Vincent. Puck one back by Cal to Carter. Carter's going to dump that into the zone. Jasper Nelson on the chase. Goes to the corner. Comes up the wall. Cal Lockley comes up with it after a good stick check by Jasper Nelson to keep the ND Elite defender from getting the puck. Puck dumped out. Can't get past Carter Hayes. Carter's just going to cycle that right back in. Takes a funny bounce off the backboard. Puck gets dumped back up the ice. And the Elite attacking one-on-one. Oh, shot. Cam Delaney almost mishandles that, goes off his elbow, but managed to get a piece of it and it stays out of the net. Good battle by Cam. Don't always have to look pretty, just have to stay out. Puck comes back across the ice, and the Elite goes up the wall. Carter Hayes picks up the puck, gets it over to Reese Vincent. We're going to look opposite side to Cal Lockley coming up through the middle. He's got Emmett and Jasper with him. Cycles the puck down for Emmett. Cal's going to pick it up behind the net. Looking for his D, but he doesn't see him. They're not there yet. Goes for a change. Tries to center it out front. Puck loose. Comes out to Max Stark. Max with the shot on net. Blocked out front by the Indy Elite defenseman. Cycled back below by Emmett Tabor. Gets out front to Cal. Cal gets a quick shot off. Doesn't quite get through. Reed Fryer. Back down for Tabor. Tabor comes off the wall. Turns back. Sides the center. Goes off a body. Comes out to Max Stark. Max Stark gets a shot on net. Again, off another body. Emmett Tabor to the net. Gets a piece of it. Doesn't quite go on net. Gets hit by another ND Elite body. ND Elite collapsing really well in their zone when they're under pressure like that. Saves a couple potential goals. 3-D pass for Reed Friars. Reed's going to look up ice. Sees Ian Moffett. Goes up off his stick and out. Shot for the point. Deflects on Cam Delaney. Stays in his gear. Really dangerous play there. Face off one by Kai Miranda. Ian Moffett. Ian's going to come up the ice. Pushes that ahead for Jackson Flood. Jackson on a foot race. Doesn't quite get there, but Kai Miranda does. Kai's going to dump that in. Goes D-to-D from the NB Elite. NB Elite moves that puck up the ice. Reed Fires, great play to take the body and keep the puck out of our harm's way. We've got a penalty coming on NB Elite for holding on Reed Friars. Puck goes back to Reed Friars. Reed takes a look, gets it through. Shot on net, goes through the wickets for Caden Christian, trying to get the deflection. Good screen, really managed to handle it. Two guys get a 2-on-1 developing here. Shot, saved by Delaney. Leaves it in front, Max Stark picks it up, and here we go, back up the ice. We now have a 3-on-2 developing. Ashton Hannon puts the D, gets it into the zone, puts it out front, tries to put it on the stick of Reed Friars, can't quite find him. We got Max Stark behind the net now. Two forwards playing the point. Max Stark battling behind the net. Looks for Ashton. Ashton's going to pick that up in the corner. Ashton walks it off the wall. In, gets a shot off the stick high and wide. Liam Werner in the corner. Gets it back below to Caden Christian. Caden Christian works his way up the wall. Puts it up the wall to Reed Friars. Reed Friars goes back to Ashton Hannon. Looks for it in the middle. Ashton takes a shot and gets up and over the goalie. Expressed with a 3-1 lead off of that shot by Ashton Hanna. Again, I apologize for the netting around this arena. It's kind of playing havoc on some of the focus on the zooms here. But great goal, great job. And Kai Moran now on the draw. Jumps, won it back to Brady Neal. Moves it over to Reese Vincent, moves it up the wall for Ian Moffett. Ian puts it into the center for Kai. back to Reese Vincent. Reese over to Brady. Brady finds Ian coming off the wall. Ian gets that dumped in, and we're going to go after it. Ian into the corner. Manages to disrupt the puck, trying to come off the wall. Time ran down there with him. And the Elite loses the puck. Bumps it past Moffett. Looks up the wall. Gets it up the wall. Good pinch by Vincent to keep that in. Time ran will get above the puck and put it back into the zone. Jackson Flood going for a change here while Ty and Ian continue the pressure. Puck comes up the wall, picked off by Jasper Nelson, but loses it. Puck comes into the zone, goes off Reese Vincent's skate. Cutter Hayes battling for that one. Can't quite move it up the ice. Ty Moran gets in the corner. He lets just a rivet behind the net. Going to go pick it up by Reese Vincent, who just bangs it off the wall. Ian Moffett gets it, puts it over to Ty. Ty's going to dump that up the ice, go for the change, so is Ian Moffett. Jasper Nelson with the pressure. Puck comes up to Kyle Lockery. Kyle will right in the zone, gets turned away at the blue line. Puck comes back with NB Elite, backing through the middle. 2-on-4 here. Puck is just dumped in safely. NB Elite will go for a change. There's an opportunity for Chris to really move this puck up the ice. Gets it over to Carter Hayes. Carter will dump that in. Puts it on net. Jasper Nelson over to Fortek in the corner. Turns the puck over behind the net. Oh, good try by Emmett Tabor for the wraparound there. Just loses the puck on the way around the front of the net. Howell, however, recovers it, puts it on net, goes off Jasper's stick. Jasper gets a piece of it, centers it again, nobody there. NB Elite coming up the ice. NB Elite gains his own on Carter. Pass out front, good stick out front by Express, keep that out of danger. And the puck's dumped back into the opposite corner. Emmett Tabor looks for Jasper Nelson, passes it behind him, can't quite get a piece of it. As Jasper manages to disrupt the play, coming back the other way. Carter Hayes elects for a pinch. We got a 2-on-1. Good job by Max Clark to pick that up, but then he loses it, and it ends up in the back of the net. Unfortunate break there, as the puck goes off Max Clark's stick, and then ends up in his skates. And the Elite managed to collect the bobbled puck and jam it by Dan Delaney. Six minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third. 3-2 hockey game for Express. Draw is won by Caden Christian over for Ashton Hannon. Hannon will get it back into the defensive zone. Puck moved over behind the net to Brady Neal. Brady works into the corner, turns back around, bumps it off the wall to Reed Friars, who will get that puck over to Ashton Hannon. Hannon works out to the middle of the ice. Keeps one guy and continues to skate. Ashton will gain the zone. Liam Berner in the corner to Fortek. Puck comes off the wall. Doesn't get by Brady Neal as Brady cycles it back into the zone. Caden Christian behind the net, looking to free the puck up for Liam Berner. Fortunately, the Elite comes out with it on the other side, and the Elite looking to move the puck out, and does. And the Elite entering the zone with even numbers. Brady Neal working over and the Elite player on the blue line. Puck comes out front. Great stick by Ashton Hannon to keep that from a scoring chance. That was a great opportunity to jam that puck into the net, and it's lost on the stick of Ashton Hannon, who just barely managed to get a piece of the end of the Elite player's stick. That puck will go down the ice for icing, and we will be in the Express zone. Time Moran on the draw, draws one clean back to the defenseman. Defenseman puts the puck on net, bouncing puck, handled by Cam Delaney. Time Moran on the draw again. It's done, but one back by the defenseman. Puts back down the board as Jackson Flood does a good job getting in the shooting lane, taking that opportunity away from them that they just had a moment ago. Puck comes up the wall to Ian Moffett. Ian will give it over to Flood. Flood looking to move up the board, just lets it dump it into the zone. Time Moran on the forecheck. Puck comes up the wall. Stopped in the middle of the ice. Jackson Flood has it. Can't quite make a play with it. Carter Hayes puts it into the zone. Ian Moffett on the mid-wall looks to pass it to the middle for Jackson Flood. Doesn't quite connect. Puck gets iced and right back to Carter. Carter will put that back into the zone. And Ian Moffat will forecheck while his line mates change. Puck gets turned over at the red line by Reed Fires. Moves ahead for Kyle Lockery. Lockery in shot. Rebound. Can't quite get to it in time. Good opportunity there. Good save by the goalie. Good stick by the defender to keep that rebound from going on net. Puck comes back to Fryers. Fryers goes up for Lockery. Lockery bumps it ahead for Jasper Nelson. Nelson coming in, walking in, shoots. Ends up in the goalie's glove, but as long as we can keep the puck in their end and shots on their goalie for the next 4 minutes and 14 seconds, we can come out of this game with a nice win. Now Lockery lines up. Puck comes back. Won by Lockery. Looks to move it to the net. Loses it in the middle of the ice. Puck in the neutral zone. Gets jumped up by Max Clark. Comes back to NBA Elite, who elects to dump it in. Going to go to Reed Fires' corner. Reed is going to go over there and move that puck up to Emmett Tabor. Tabor finds Nelson coming out of the zone. The pass is behind him, however, and he can't quite get a piece of it. Clark on the puck, makes a nice move. Gets up, bumps the puck ahead, goes for Nelson. We're going to call this icing. Fortunately, he lost that puck just before the red line, resulting in an icing call. Defensive zone draw. Peyton Christian's line coming on the ice. We've got Christian, Hannon, Berner, Brady Neal, and Reese Vincent on the back end. And of course, Cambellini in net. Draw is Strum. Won by nobody. Brady Neal gets in on it. Can't quite get a piece of it. It's still Strum behind the net. NB Elite comes out with it. Cycles it up to their defenseman. Carter, however, gets by. Ashton Hannon on the blue line, manages to get it out. Back into the zone. Giveaway at the blue line on Lean and Werner's stick. Werner will go ahead and dump that back into the corner. Well, Christian and Hannon will forecheck. Need a heavy back check here, boys. Let's get going. Puck comes up the ice. Peyton Christian takes his man down, no call. Reese Vincent settling in the corner. Can't quite get it as they come out on the wrong side of two Express players. Great shot blocked by Werner. He's going to push that ahead for Hannon. Hannon moves ahead. Can't quite get to the puck. Knocked away by NB Elite defenseman, but Hannon picks it up on a half wall and moves it back into the zone. Puck comes up the ice. NB Elite attacking and driving through the neutral zone. Flat shot. Wide of the net, goes over to Flood. Flood's just going to tip that out and get after it. Flood and off it on the pressure here. Flood turns it over, D to D. Looking to take away passing lanes up high. Puck comes up to the winger. Deflected off of Ian Moffat over to Max Stark. Max Stark's just going to put that back into the zone. The Stark's playing a safe game here, getting the puck deep as often as possible. Making NB Elite work the full 200 feet. Battle on the boards for Ian Moffat. NB Elite comes in with it. However, it goes off of a player. Back to Max Clark. Back to Jackson Flood. He's just going to put that into the corner. Right on net, actually. Moffat going in for the rebound. Moffat takes his player to the boards. Falls down. NB Elite coming out with it. Three guys high. Jasper Nelson presses in the neutral zone. It's going to go back to Max Clark again. Seems to be always in the right spot here in this bit of transition play. Puck comes out. Gets on the stick of Matt Spark. He's going to move that over for Emmett Tabor. Tabor can't quite handle it. Now we're driving up the ice in the wrong direction. Shot off the side of the net. Comes up for Jasper Nelson. Battle all along the blue line. Jasper's pinned against the wall. Can't get a piece of the puck to push it out, even though it's just inches away. Reed fires. Cycles it down for Emmett Tabor, who's going to just send that down the ice. Not for icing, though. There's the NBA Elite player way back, and that's going to kill some time off the clock. Last minute of play here, third period. 3-2 game for Express. NBA Elite in the corner, working against Brady Neal. Cal Lockery comes up with it. Rims it up the wall for Jasper Nelson. Goes off the referee's foot, can't get it clean. Brady Neal picks it up again. Rims that to the other side for Emmett Tabor. Emmett Tabor just puts it up the wall to the defenseman on the other side. Puck is on Cam Delaney's skate. He's just going to freeze that and take the face-off in our zone with 34 seconds remaining. 34.6 seconds remaining in a 3-2 hockey game. Express has the lead. Players on the ice are Christian, Hannon, Werner, Hayes, and Friars. Friars going to pin that in our zone, try to eat some time off the clock, and does. .1 seconds remaining. And the Elite elects not to pull their goalie. Interesting choice with this much time and in an offensive zone draw in a one-goal game. Puck gets put across the ice. Comes to Werner. Werner's just going to bang that out. No icing as it deflects off the end of the Elite player. Ashton Hannon wins the race. Cycles it back for Caden Christian. Christian cycles back to the corner. Looks out front. Puts it across. Can't quite connect. 6 seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1. Shot on goal. Leaks. And that will be the game. Express coming out with their first win of the Oyster Cup on a 3-2 game against the ND Elite. This changes a lot in the standings. ND Elite having beat the Riptide in the shootout earlier today, and with the Riptide with the win as well, it's going to be interesting to see how tomorrow shakes out, as that will be the determining factor for who makes it to the semifinals. Again, 5 teams in our pool have to finish in the top 2 to move on and play on Sunday. Definitely doable on the back of this win. If we can come out and play into a couple of wins tomorrow, we should be looking good for semifinals. Great game by Cam Delaney. Looked a little shaky on the first goal against the bounce back very quickly. Made a couple of very good saves, and certainly can't be faulted for the second goal that went in. Cam, again, has been playing some good hockey this spring. Like to see him playing with confidence. Both goalies are doing really well. It'd be really good to see this continue into the remaining of the tournament. That with the player of the game honors, Brendan the Elite here, having a solid game, and I believe he was the assist, either the goal, no, he was the assist of the goal on the tying goal for the game against the Riptide. Ashton Hannon with the player of the game honors. Again, nice goal by Ashton. Definitely put this one away, game winner. Big game here. Ashton's been having a good spring season so far. Quite a few goals under his belt, and some nice playmaking as well. And that's what we like to see, some all-around play from the Express players, and they certainly are doing it. We'll see you tomorrow morning. I believe it's 11 a.m. when we play the Red Hounds, who we played last couple weekends ago to a tie and a 4-3 loss, a 3-3 tie and a 4-3 loss. So it should be an exciting game, lots of action. Make sure you tune in. We'll see you next time.